Little fuzzy, but there's a grass thief in the middle of the screen. There she turned. Don't know if she's got a baby with her or not. Yesterday she was right on that dark line the other side of that cow most of the day. Go figure. Show up and interrupt. Anyway, the orb's right at the top edge of the trees. Ty's here. I think Becky finally got up and was feeding the pups. And yeah, I'm up too. So that's my story for Tuesday morning. And yeah, I don't see a baby with either one of them. Although Minnie looks a little loose this morning. Maybe she's finally gonna do it. Well, there's a little more growth up here. Lots of wild radish. Lots of shit. Blackberries. And hey, look at that. There's actually moisture in it. I'm not blowing any dust up like I did when I was up here before. Because what that over there looks like right now, that's what it looked like when I turned it over. So, I was kind of hoping maybe one pass across this would actually be enough and we'd be out of here. But with what's laying on top, I think it's going to take two after all. And right here, I'm working straight back and forth, turn around and come back against where I'm at because the other end is the edge of that steepest part. And I think Ty's going to come up and run this for a bit. I forgot to mention our gauge. You probably can't see it. Full tank ends up showing between a third and a half. Yeah, hindsight, I should have hooked some wires to it. Got a little figure in it. Hawk just took off with something out of my last pass. I mean, gauge works, it's just not in the right friggin' spot. Story of my life. And the original was, shall we say, very, very accurate. So we know when it gets down and it starts flashing the bottom bar that it's half full or a little less. And put about 45 gallons in the tank before we took it out of the shop. And I just put another 28 in it. That comes up more than 65 gallons. Well, maybe everything says wrong, I don't know. Or maybe the tube's that far from the bottom and that's all you get. But right here is why I'm doing what I'm doing. Because I ain't gonna try to turn on this. And if I could put my foot up on the windshield right now, I would. Because I'm barely bracing myself on the floor. It makes it fun. You come down to about here and ride the hell out of the brake, because even with good tires on, all your front end will do is spin coming around. And there's another reason to go over it a second time. Hopefully knock out the Scotch Broke. But anyway, this is the fun I'm having. Well, her turn. I got to pass the worst spot. She said, since your hysterectomy, some things kind of get her a little anxious. And I said, yeah, once you make a pass, you'll be fine. So, oh sure, she took a pop in with her and just dumped it out because that wasn't in the cab. And hey, while we're standing here, the old nut dryer, I'd like to come out that door in a hurry. I'm not sure if this one was wood fired, oil fired, or gas fired. And I don't know if we can still see. Nope. Used to be able to see in and see the hoppers inside where they dried the nuts. Oh yeah, and city people, when they moved to the country, where do you think they put their garbage can? Right dead center where I had to come in. That's why it's down there. I tried to put it up there in the blackberries. That didn't work out. And then Becky rolls the window back up.
Well, we've been waiting for you.
Look who came to get me. I knew I had issues yesterday. It's been a while since I greased this, but those two won't take anything at all. So, that took it. That one took it. See down below in there. Fresh grease showing there. But not these two. Those DeWalt guns put out what, 10,000 PSI with the relief set. If it's above that, and it was pumping it out the relief. So chip around that and pull those out, see if I can open the holes up, see if it's dirt that's actually in there or if the zerks are bad. And I'm going to take the grinder to that, then I'm going to fold it up so I can start digging on that other stump. And Ty's still up there. She's been running for half hour or better now. She's doing fine. It's been a while. Last time she ran that was during the fires in 2020. And she was busy getting everything that we had that was around people's houses where the fire was. One of these days, sure would be nice to have a place to work in here. Not totally my fault. But I guess I'm the one responsible for it. Okay, she left me a few more. He needed 3 or 4 quarter 28 zerks. So she stole them yesterday. Which is fine because last time we got a bunch of zerks, they were in the smaller. We've had this for years for normal assortment. Got these types. This is actually metric. These are all standard. And it was 2 boxes of these, a standard and a metric. So obviously the standard went in here. And they work. See if I can show you. Come here, you little bugger. See the shape of the top of it. It's short at the end. It's still there. Couplers still hook on them. It's just not as long. Let's see if my phalanges will work in here. See if we can get a little comparison. If you notice, the one I got a hold of is 1/16 of an eighth of an inch longer from the ridge where my fingernail is, from there up. That's old style, and that's cheap style. Like I said, they work. But I gotta get these dug out of here. Oh, what fun. Since this thing doesn't get used that often, it doesn't get greased that often, and it's tight enough fit on that pin that it doesn't take much, and a little dried up grease goes a long ways. I ended up changing those zerks. They were solid inside. And I picked them out and tried, and all it did was bypass on the relief valve on the gun. This is the 3rd gun I've used, by the way. Reason is they all have a different tip on them. This one has a locking tip, but the black piece there up to that collar, to take it off, you slip that up. The other one I tried has a lock and lube tip, and that one actually still has the original DeWalt tip on it. That's the 20 volt. The other two are both 18 volts. Same freaking thing anyway. But I got this side to pop. That side I haven't got to pop yet. I've had it apart 3 times now, dug around in there. I've sprayed PP Blaster in there. And our PP Blaster doesn't have a tube on the end. Apparently they have their own size tubes because the tube off of the fluid film or off of the brake clean is a loose fit. Needless to say, I tried to take a bath. But I got actually blasted some into it this last time, put the zerks in. That's sitting right there with pressure on it. It's not sealing on these new zerks good enough to hit the relief valve right here. But it's got quite a bit of pressure on it anyway. I'm gonna let it sit there for a minute or two. And I've already fired the machine up and worked that back and forth when I had PB Blaster in there trying to get it to work around. When this side finally went, it went with a bang. And a whole bunch of grease come out. I'll show you, because I stopped when it went bang. That's what we got when it went bang. It finally went. So anyway, try this again. If I don't get it, I'll just go run it. It's got grease in it. It's just not completely over there. Should keep it from squeaking anyway. And maybe later it'll take some. And Ty texted me a little bit ago, said she had an alarm going off. She said going uphill, the low fuel alarm was going off because the fuel gauge was at the bottom bar and flashing. But on that tractor, the oil pressure, engine oil pressure sending in it. Oh, that's got idiot lights. It goobers up, but when it goes off, you never get a chance to look down to see that that's the light that comes on the dash. So there is actually a mechanical gauge. It's outside the cab. You just look down out the right front window and look right at it. Now, most of the things we have real gauges on them for that reason. Because idiot lights are idiot lights. Either the gauge can screw up. Electronic gauges, they fail. Electronic sending units fail, especially when all they are is whatever they're set for a pressure threshold. You know, if it's set for, say, 30 psi and the spring gets weak, it's not going to go off when you're down to 15 psi. And 15 is not enough, in my opinion. Anyway, hopefully this will break loose here in a minute and I can get something going. There it is. It's out now. That one went, I'm pretty sure there's probably a hole on the other side of the railroad ties in the driveway. At least it broke off and didn't keep tearing. That one, God knows how far it went. It went at least to there and it was still pulling. That one, I broke off right there and it probably made it into the driveway. She's out. And if you look, we'll zoom you in. I see a Blakely over in the corner. If it'll show up. Where it looks like bark in the middle of the screen, that is black walnut. That's where it was grafted. And what's above that, that's all rotten, was English walnut. So yeah, that black walnut part is still harder than a brick bat. So middle of the screen, circle right there, that's English walnut that's rotten. And like I said, the rest is black walnut. And it is hard. It is solid. I'm really surprised. Well, actually, I literally ripped it up there. I'm not sure how I got it to start ripping, but... And that only took not even a half an hour compared to the 2.5 hours there, or almost 2.5 hours. You say hi?
Can you say hi?
Blakely.
Oh,
you said Blakely.
Can you show everybody your puppy dog? Where's its tail? Do you know where its ears are? Good job. Where's its nose? Where's its eyeballs? What's your puppy say?
Don't eat your puppy.
Oh, she's kissing it. What does it say?
Go.
What does the puppy say? Does it say meow? Careful, you're going to fall
She had
down
a
there,
nap.
though.
She must have had a little crack when she was napping.
She didn't get to nap.
Oh.
She never napped.
She never did?
No.
So I set it over there. That's a heavy bugger. I went to
Can you show everybody the nene?
roll it out ahead of me when I got on the driveway and I couldn't curl.
Bampa. No, show.
Oh.
Tell him to show everybody the
I'm
nene.
going to
on
knock
that
the
fence.
big roots off. They can go in Matt's pile and
Is that nene?
then it'll be a little
Who's
lighter.
riding that nene?
But it's heavy.
Yeah. Where's the nene?
Anybody hasn't seen that before.
Where's the nene? No. Blake, point at the nene.
There's a story behind that. I know there's a video somewhere back there
Sunshine
about it.
and applesauce.
Okay, just a quickie on it. It is all different little pieces of wood. Mostly their natural color. Some of them burnt a little bit to change color. But every little different color, every little different spot is a different piece of wood. The gentleman that did this was American Indian that lived about 5 miles away. I'm sure he's dead and gone now. Vietnam veteran. Blakely, stay here, please. And that's what he did. And I think my imagine not very long ago. It was either when he was making this gate or he was making some pieces for another lady that he made a whole bunch of stuff for. Both his boys were home on leave. One was home injured, and the other was lucky enough to get leave to come home and see everybody while his brother was home. And on public broadcasting, they were airing the very first time that the Army videos were ever made public. And they said, "Hey, Dad, this is when they were filming in Vietnam. You got to come see this." So he walked in from the garage, walked up behind his boys just in time to see himself get shot in the head by a Viet Cong and dropped to the ground. And then the guy walked up and looked down at him, was going to shoot him again, and he didn't. Otherwise, that talent would have been lost then. Anyway, I got to babysit because Becky had to go do something. So, little Grandpa and Blakely time. What are you doing chewing on the tail? You want your binky instead? No? Okay.
That right there would be the buck that I got on video with the 2 does. 2 or 3 does. I can't remember how many does were with him. He is forked out now, but he's enjoying the grass that will no longer be there in a little while. And at least, he's a little on the skinny side, but his horns are definitely forked out and above his ears now. It's hard to tell on video, since we're bouncing around and he's a little far away for that. At least we got some good scenery up here, and it's a nice day. Except I got dirty windows. Clearly, especially that one. And yes, the crows are everywhere up here. And my grandpa, which some of you might not know, came back as a hawk after he passed away. He's been up here getting a whole bunch of grubs and stuff that he's wanting. So he's happy.
Seems I'm on babysitting duty again. She was helping Becky pick up roots and stuff, and Ty just took her muddy clothes off. Don't drink that, it's icky. That's just a play cup. It's got a hole in the bottom, but she's got it full of whatever's in that. At least she got her face washed off now. So I'm waiting so we can get some critters fed. Be nice to the dog. And got to feed a bale to the steers, then I can go up and disc for a while. I found some cows. Some of them are across the creek there. Looks like a whole bunch tucked in the trees up above them. The rest of them are in the feed barn. Most of them are right there. Part of them are back there in the shade by the creek. And Becky just finished cutting them out.